be
is,
proportionate.
Just cry at the perfect amount that only each woman knows and guess.
Just
no,
be
but like
proportionate.
context is everything in life. Do you know what I mean? Like not everything's black and white. So at the end of the day, if it's something that's a big deal and you're upset by it, and then she's not there for you, then that's the wrong girl.
Yeah.
Get rid of her and move on. Because once you find a girl that's really down for you, then none of that's going to matter. Do you know what I mean? Because context will prevail.
And all of that stuff is really great for short-term dating and stuff. But if we're talking long-term connections, you're going to bury children together, God forbid. You might bury your parents together. You're trying to tell me you can't cry in those moments? This is great for short-term flings, this mentality. But if you want a long-term connection, you might have a stillbirth. And your man's just be like, no, can't be that. No, life happens.
So
it's just like, as a woman, for me, I always want a guy that is calm and strong, even in horrible situations.
Mm-hmm.
So like, and this isn't pretty, but this is just me being honest. One of the reasons I respect, like all of the men that I respect the most, I've barely ever seen them cry.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think it's a lot of times as women, we mean well and we want to be there for men, but I don't think we can.
I think it's short term, it makes sense. But I don't know, my dad cries when like I leave the country for a couple of months or stuff like that, and maybe because
he cries when you leave the country.
Yeah, he cries. I think it's just the Asian. Well, I'm from Pakistan, so like just not seeing me every day kind of affects him and stuff. And like so he'll cry when if I'm going back to Dubai, he'll cry or whatever it is. And but he's still a very masculine man, and I just think when it's proportionate and it's in line with your masculinity, it's fine. But when it's
a masculine man and he cries every time you leave the country.
Yeah, he does. Bless him. His daughter.
I'll be honest with you. Just as she said that, Paul, I just thought about my dad. I've never seen him cry in my whole life.
I just can't. I don't know your dad personally, so I'm not trying to offend you. I just can't imagine a masculine man crying every time his daughter leaves the country.
He cries every time.
Yeah.
Like he gets emotional at the idea of me leaving the country.
And Pearl, I've spoke about my dad before, how hard in regard I hold him. He was diplomat and he's a chief back home. And he's been through so much, and I just think he's never cried, like never. Do you know? You actually have no idea what it is to be a chief and to run.
I mean, I'm just thinking the most masculine archetypes. They don't cry.
No, I've seen him stressed out. I've seen my dad stressed out, like, and I'm coming to him and I'm like, but him cry. No, there's some things you just do as well for other people as well.
I get that it's not attractive, but I don't think it should be a rule. I think it should be you let your own masculinity dictate whether you cry or not.
No, because masculinity dictates you not actually crying. It's actually femininity which creates crying. Because
to build your masculine energy so you cry less rather than telling men to hold it in.
No, but what I'm doing is I'm saying to men, don't get tricked out your position. Yeah? Do not go and cry to your missus when you have friends where in actual fact you could be building more bro code and building a more bromance, if you want to call it. Yeah, this strengthens your unity. If you've never done it with your boys, I suggest you pick your closest boy and you guys start bonding. You do not go and get your girl who's supposed to look at you like a Superman, the guy that protects me. How are you going to protect her now when you're crying? And the reason I'm trying to say it is because she doesn't mean to do it. It's not her fault. It's just in her body. It's not like...
Say if your dad did want to cry and get upset, would he go to your mum or would he go to his boys? Say if he did, God forbid. Say if there was an incident that made him really get upset. Would the connection that your mum and dad have built, is it better for him to go to your mum or is it better to him go to a friend?
Even now, I couldn't imagine my mum wanted to see my dad cry. Like, because I know...
What do you think would be better for him?
To go to my mum.
Right.
Because I wouldn't want him to go to other chiefs and to be seen as weak. Because they would see him as weak.
Exactly.
They'll look at the chief of all chiefs coming to us and crying.
So what does that tell you about long-term connections? What are they built on?
No, but what I'm trying to say is...
trust. There's a trust element with your vulnerabilities.
Okay, at this point, it would have him looking weak to the other tribes, right? Yeah. So you don't want to be. It's more important to be seen masculine outside of the home and to the world than it is supposed to seem masculine to your wife.
It's changing.
Right?
That's what I'm saying. It's changing. I feel like that's generational.
No, but like, okay, I'll be honest with you. Even now, you don't want to be the guy that's crying to the girl and doing the R&B love singing, bro. Because the guy the guy that's doing the drilling them, he's blowing backs out, bro. And this is the thing. I don't want you to be crying in the rain like Ray J, bro, like over some girl.
But do you think I'm a CEO and your boss, you come to your boss and you start crying to your boss because you're so stressed out because you're like, I can't cry to my wife. Wouldn't your boss be like, take that to your home? Don't bring your tears in my office.
Well, yeah, it's
he never said boss.
unprofessional. He said go to
so
your
you're
boys. He said go to your
wherever it
He said go to
is.
your, and okay, I understand what you're saying. In a 50-year marriage, you're probably going to
course.
cry at some point. But the point is, as women, it's dishonest to tell men to make that a habit. Occasionally,
prematurely,
it shouldn't be a habit.
Occasionally,
and not prematurely.
every couple here, but every woman doesn't know what her point is. So you don't know at what point exactly you're going to be turned off by it, and I don't know exactly what point I'll be turned off by.
In your relationship.
So it's easier just to tell men, you know what, avoid that with your girl, do that with your boys if you can, because it's confusing to men. Because some girls, they see you cry. Like there's girls that have said, I saw him cry once and I couldn't look at him the same ever again. Happened one time. There's some girls multiple times that it'll take. Why was he crying? I don't know.
So Pearl, let me tell you something. We're gonna open up a little bit here. I don't do too much open. I feel I know I'm getting a little bit better with some stuff. So telling some stuff. So my first true love, I would say, must have been together like 5 years. I can tell the story, you've seen it, but I was stabbed when I was younger, very, very badly. I was on life support machine. People have seen the pictures and stuff. I was hooked up to machines and stuff. The girl that said she would never leave me ever, when I was hooked up and I couldn't walk, when I cried, and when I had the catheter inside of me, the shit bag, all of that stuff, yeah. Something happened after that. I'm telling you something. Like something got changed. The Superman that I was, and even though I survived, and even though I was whatever, she's happy now. She's married. She got her kids and the rest of it, and I'm happy for her. And we're cool. But trust me on this, man. I was on my deathbed. I was hooked up to machines, and the girl that was hooked up, the girl that was standing next to me holding my hand, that said she'll never leave me, still left me. Men, you have to understand this.
Are you sure it's due to that, or do you think it could be other variables?
It could be other variables, but what I will say is that afterwards I found that she wanted to leave me, but obviously this stuff that happened created something in it, and I just know that there's some parts of being a man that after it's past vulnerability now, it's like, yo, your dependence, yeah. She kicked the hell out, and she said to herself, I can't do this, right? And when you feel that, like, you're not supposed to kick out because I need you now, you know what I mean? Like I'm effed up, bro. I can't even, you know what I mean?
But is that just more her? Because I feel like what you're doing right now is what people do on social media too much, and that's generalization. Like you're basing your experience with your ex.
Like a girl.
Essentially you're taking your experience with your ex and then saying like
you're saying
it's the same thing with every woman.
Like okay, we know not all. We know that. We don't have to say with everything it's not every single person, but in general, women don't like to see men cry.
Yeah, like
women like masculine men. The most sought after guys are like tough. They're not.
I'm not trying to say that this is for, like I'm just, you know what? I opened up and I get told that. See, this is why man don't say nothing. I got opened up and I literally I didn't want to be rude, but you was arguing to me like a girl, bro. I opened up a story to show you an example. I could give you other examples and other people, you know what I'm trying to say to you. I can literally give you